the opening of our group discussion session today, we humbly ask the President of TVD to deliver the opening speech for this session. For that, with all due respect, please welcome Bapak Darmawan Dwi Atmoko.
Thank you, Mbak Bepi. Yes, thank you so much for this. For this event, this afternoon. This is our second event and our second discussion, I think. Or no, it's more than second event actually. I think it's the third or fourth event, but this is the second discussion actually. The first discussion was about height and basis analysis. It was like a small group discussion, and it was really interesting. And then this one is a sharing session actually, a discussion and sharing session, sharing the knowledge as a part of knowledge hubs. So TVD is not only, again, we're not only specific, we have a focus on valuation and asset management, yes, but we are not only focusing on that, but also discussing some issues related to that. Yeah, related to the asset management and valuation. So it shows a wide range of issues in there, and we are discussing in terms of sharing the knowledge and giving the idea, giving the inspiration to each other. Then today we have Pak Nafan, I think, Pak Nafan, and he will share the experience, the research, and also the thought and the contribution of his PhD to the knowledge of asset management and public accounting. So it is really, I mean, it's a cool discussion, yeah. We tried to any other issues before, but in this afternoon, we would like to really have what I mean, a good opportunity to learn more, to remind again what is the public accounting actually. Some participants here maybe have done before in graduate school, or maybe have done before in master, or maybe in any other seminar. But today we will a bit more specific in terms of public building and public accounting and asset management. Then I would like to say thank you so much for all participants being here and consistently participate in this discussion. Again, the outcome would be for us, for each of us, the discussion will give us new knowledge, new idea, and new inspiration. And for us to improve ourselves, to see what we can do for ourselves, to improve ourselves for the future. That's the thing. For example, maybe some of us now doing, have done with master and thinking pursuing PhD in the future. And Pak Nafan done his PhD, and oh, it's a good thing to doing research on public accounting in terms of asset management in Indonesia. Oh, it is a good thing to see asset management from perspective of accounting. So this is this group, this club, as a knowledge hub between us, and hopefully again and again can bring benefit back to us, each of us. That's from me, Mbak Bepi. I think just be careful for this afternoon and enjoy the discussion. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Pak Wawan, for delivering the opening speech. We hope, as Pak Wawan mentioned earlier, that today's sharing session will give us useful insights, fruitful discussions, and to contribute more to valuation, especially related to public accounting and asset management. As also Pak Wawan stated before, we should always improve our skill. That is a huge task to do, but we are sure we will be working out on it. Carrying out to the next part, without further ado, allow me to introduce our moderator for today, the one who will accompany us through the whole event, presentation until question and answer session afterwards. It is an honor to introduce you to our moderator. She earned her Master of Public Administration from the Australian National University, Canberra, Australia in 2016, used to have an experience as a lecturer in Indonesian State College of Accountancy at University of Indonesia and PPM School of Management, also an active member in the Business and Career Club at Indonesian State College of Accountancy Alumni Union, and a member of English Talent Lamkulu, the regional office of Lampung and Bengkulu DJKN. Her remarkable performance doesn't stop here. She was also awarded with Certified Governmental Accountant from the Institute of Indonesia, Chartered Accountant, and appointed as the best graduate of Bachelor of Applied Science from Indonesian State College of Accountancy in 2010. Currently, she is working for Ministry of Finance as a senior staff at the Regional Office Lampung and Bengkulu DJKN. Please give a warm welcome to our moderator, Ibu Ellen Maharani.
Thank you, Has, for introducing me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The director, Mr. Ari, the president of TVD, Mr. Darmawan, the committees, the members of TVD, and all the participants. Good day, good afternoon. May God always give us health and prosperity. I am Ellen Maharani, a senior staff in the Lampung and Bengkulu Regional Office of DJSAM. I'm beyond honored and grateful to assist Mr. Nafan, our speaker today, my fellow PhD from the University of Canberra, to share his research and arguments on the topic of constructionism, accounting on public sector asset management in Indonesia. What a nice topic, actually. I'm sure some of us probably have accounting background. Most of us have the background on the public asset management, and there should have been several people who have both the background. So actually, I think this topic of discussion is a familiar topic for us. Therefore, we are waiting for questions, arguments, negations, or any inputs possible to enrich our today's discussion. Well, I will not make it become too heavy or too long because it is just an afternoon talk and we are going to enjoy it. I'm sure. Are we, Mr. Nafan? Are you there?
I am.
Yes, okay. Mr. Nafan, our speaker today, he spent his childhood memory in Semarang, graduated from Diploma 3 and 4 from PKN Stan. His master degree, MBA, was from Ritsumeikan Asia Pacific University in 2010 and finished his PhD in accounting from the University of Canberra in 2019. So actually, Canberra is the first place we have ever met, yeah, sir? And the Mafeeling, actually, the community that can also Mafeeling, it is the community in Canberra for the Ministry of Finance who continue his master and PhD, specifically in Canberra. And it has been 6 years since then. We are now in the same institution in DJSAM, so please welcome the speaker, Mr. Nafan, and he is going to tell you about the thesis that made him spending his 4-year PhD life in Canberra. So the time is yours, Mr.
Baik, terima kasih Mbak Ellen. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everybody. Knowing the portfolio of our moderator, I think she is more deserved to be our speaker in this session. I don't like that when I say that I'm really nervous, yeah, at least for 2 reasons. Firstly, for the broken English, I'm sorry. Even my daughter is around, and I think they will be ready to make love on the way I'm speaking. And secondly, I'm not quite sure that what the topic that I'm going to share with you is has to do with the valuation. But as Mas Darmawan told me that it's just about the knowledge sharing, and I even define it as two ways knowledge sharing. So you can give me feedback, and we can build healthy and sound discussion in this afternoon. And sorry for the background, the only red in this meeting because I'm not provided, I think, with the FB. Okay. Yeah, as Mbak Ellen said, that my topic in this afternoon is constructionism accounting on public sector asset management in Indonesia. And it might not meet the expectation of the committee. I'm sorry, Pak Darmawan, yeah. Perhaps, like you say, we're gonna have a talk concerning the public sector accounting in relation with the public asset management. However, I may go a little bit in the different way, but let's follow the presentation. Okay. Firstly, let me tell you about the journey. Yeah. So it was not about studying PhD. It's about a life journey. Yeah. So it's not about my story, but also my family story, my son's story, my wife's story, my daughter's story, and so on. Because living for years, yeah, in different country with different cultures is not easy, yeah, but it also give you a lot of things, yeah, that enrich your life. So for you that are interested to doing the same thing, yeah, I really encourage you to do the same thing, to explore the different life perspective, yeah, in your life. Okay, I got scholarship from Australia Awards. So my PhD is from Australia Award, and I did the PhD from the University of Canberra, 2015. On July, I depart to Australia, to Canberra, and until 2019. And when I went home around August 2019, I had not submitted my thesis. Yeah, it's different from Mas Darmawan. Yeah, he's more successful than me because when he came home, yeah, he already finished everything. Yeah, he submitted the thesis and waiting for the examination. And if I'm not mistaken, the result of the examination is already there, yeah, Mas Darmawan. Yeah, so congratulations. So when I went home, yeah, I was still struggling with the completion of my thesis, even though it didn't take quite long. Around 1 month after that, I managed to submit the thesis, and this is actually in the timeline is my third victory. My first victory was when I managed to secure the scholarship. The second victory was when I did my confirmation seminar, because in PhD journey, particularly in Australia, we had to do 4 seminars. Yeah, introductory seminar, and then confirmation seminar. Thirdly was work in progress seminar, and last one is was pre-submission seminar. And the second one, the confirmation seminar, was the most critical, yeah, because it will determine whether a student deserve to enter a candidature. Yeah, so after a student pass the confirmation seminar, then he or she will be able to put a PhD candidate in his or her name. Yeah. So the research actually start when one finish or successfully complete the confirmation seminar. And the third victory, like I said before, was when I submitting my thesis online, because I was in Indonesia already. And the fourth victory was when I got the examination result, and yeah, alhamdulillah, thank God, it was minor revision. So it need revision but minor, and so it didn't have to go to the examiners, the three examiner, the real examiner, which I don't know, whom I don't know. Yeah, they are. One thing that I know is that one of them is from UK. Yeah, but I really don't know who they are. And with the minor result, minor revision result, I just need to, do the little correction and then submit it to my supervisor. And it's quite easy way, yeah. And so I regard it as the victory, the fourth victory. Yeah. So actually, it's not really the time of my PhD. It's not really last from 2019. Rather, it lasted until 2020. Yeah, because the PhD came after that. The title of my thesis is a meso-level study of the adoption, implementation, and internalization of accrual accounting on Indonesian public sector asset management. Yeah, it's about accounting. It's about public sector accounting, where the accrual accounting characterize the development of public sector accounting, and it attempts to study the relationship or the impact on the influence of the accrual accounting on public asset management. Why I choose this topic? Yeah, easy, because I have background in accounting. My diploma was in accounting, even though my master was in finance. And I work for asset management department, DJKN. Yeah, so I was just thinking that if I choose this topic about accounting and about asset management, then I could give a good argument in front of the examiner when trying to get the scholarship. And I think it worked. Yeah, I think it worked, because when you try to get scholarship, at least you have to make argument about the relationship between your background, your current position, and your future. Yeah. So maybe it's a tip, but I think it's common knowledge. Everybody knows about it. And the paper version of my thesis was presented in the Asia Pacific Interdisciplinary Research in Accounting in New Zealand. And yeah, actually I got another reception. Unfortunately, due to some reason, technical reason, financial constraint, time conflict, then I could not managed, yeah, to go there, even though I really wanted to go there. Okay. I want to share you with I don't know how long time that I have. So Mbak
Around
Ellen,
30 minutes, sir.
yeah, Mbak Ellen,
Around 30, yes.
feel free to stop me anytime. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not sure if the time allocated can cover all my presentation, but I'm just trying. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see. Yeah, but feel free to stop me. Yeah.
Yes.
So I want to share you with the conversation with my supervisor. I always remember this moment. Yeah. So as a wannabe, yeah, a wannabe PhD, I came to my supervisor. I have two supervisors, and one of them, yeah, I just named him, David Carter. Yeah, it's from New Zealand. And I tried to explain my research project, my research plan, and then he said, if you come to me with an interesting case, with a case that you think it is interesting to study, and then you tell me that you have the solution for that case, you are not PhD student, you are consultant. Yeah. So this conversation really made me stressful. Yeah. Because I was thinking the other way around, that I have interesting case about about asset management, accounting, and so on, and then have a proposal for the improvement from the the penyempurnaan, yeah, for the enhancement and so on. And he said it's not about that's not supposed to be done by a PhD student. It's a job of a consultant. Yeah. And then he said that when doing a PhD student, when doing a PhD project, then you have to base your research on the body of knowledge. Yeah. Whether your project can add some little knowledge in the universe, in the body of knowledge or not. Yeah. Let me show you this picture. This is my favorite. So sorry, it doesn't have to do with the public accounting and the public asset management. So I just want to share you about the PhD journey. Yeah. So this is the circle that symbolize the body of knowledge. Yeah. Yes, a circle that contains all of human knowledge. And by the time you finish your elementary school, SD, you know a little. You actually know everything. You know everything. You know math, you know natural science, you know social science, you know religious, pelajaran agama ya, religious study, you know about language and so on. You know everything, but only in a very basic level. That's when you finish your elementary school. By the time you finish high school, you know a bit more. You know everything. Even for natural science, you know, now you know about biology, yeah, chemistry, physics, and also for social science, you broaden your knowledge by knowing about the geography, the history, and so on. You know everything, but still in a basic level. And when you're doing the bachelor, bachelor S1 ya or diploma, you move to a specialty. Yeah. Yeah. So look the direction that moving forward. It's really moving forward, but also in one direction. You cannot moving forward in all direction. That's the specialty. You study accounting in diploma 3, diploma 4, and then you sharpen your knowledge in accounting by studying in master degree about perhaps management accounting. So specialty, you move to the edge, yeah, to the boundary line, and then this box, sorry, yeah, this box represent the PhD journey when you reading research paper, all the research paper relate to your project, your research project, because you want to explore the body of knowledge in a specific or in particular topic of research that you are interested in. Yeah. And it takes you to the edge of the human knowledge. Yeah. Sampai batas. Yeah. It's focus. Yeah. So, and it applies on all kind of knowledge, yeah, medical, physics, history, and so on. And then you do a PhD, and when you manage to finish your PhD, it's actually only contribute very little, yeah, in this box, yeah. Is very little, very little contribution to the body of knowledge. Even though in our perspective, in our view, it's quite different. Yeah, it's very big. It's a victory. Yeah, that deserve to be celebrated and so on. But the big picture doesn't like that. Yeah, it's only very little contribution. Yeah, so even we talk about the human knowledge. Yeah, the circle is human knowledge. We don't talk about the God knowledge. Yeah, we learn, for example, that to illustrate the huge dimension of God knowledge, when you take all the ocean as ink, to write the knowledge, and you take all trees in the world, the branch, and take it to be a pen to write, it won't be enough, to write the God knowledge. Yeah. So this is the body of knowledge, let alone the God knowledge. So I mean, actually a PhD student, a PhD is not that privilege. Yeah, it's nothing. Maybe only quite beautiful in one aspect, but she or he doesn't have anything in other aspect of knowledge. Okay, so and back to my supervisor conversation. One is about that, and the other one is about the emphasize on the paradigm, the research paradigm. Research paradigm matters. Yeah, and this table, show you the research paradigm comparison of research paradigm. we have positivism, we have interpretivism, and critical paradigm. Yeah, with several aspects: epistemology, methodology, ontology, human purpose, and so on. Of course, I'm not going to talk about this table. I just want to talk a little about the ontology, for example, the ontology. In terms of ontology, yeah, for positivism, object means the thing that we are research, the thing that we are studying. Yeah, the object exists independently from subject, and subject has no role in the making of making of meaning. While for interpretivism paradigm, reality has no meaning until human beings come to and give meaning to it. So under interpretivism, yeah, under interpretivism, yeah, a tree is not a tree until a person come to it, name it a tree, and it is a tree. So in other words, knowledge is not discovered under the interpretivism. Yeah, rather knowledge is interpreted by human being. Yeah. And also it has to do with the methodology. For positivism, the methodology, the way a researcher do the research, mostly done by survey, mathematical and statistical measurement with the regression, with the hypothesis, the thing that I did when I was doing my MBA. Yeah. But for interpretivism, it's not. It used more qualitative. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that, yeah, in positivism, yeah, the researcher tries to be objective and keep distance with the object. Yeah. The way to be objective is keep distance on the object. In contrast, under interpretivism, yeah, researcher involved in the object, interact with object, and put meaning. So the researcher tried to construct the meaning, or we can say it's more subjective. Yeah. And
actually, sorry, sir. So actually, we should do all these alternatives, or which one that you prefer? That's in your PhD.
That's the thing. That's the thing that emphasized by my supervisor. You have to have clear position, clear position of your research. You try to be a positivist, or
interpretive.
Try to be interpretive. And actually, the paradigm, the list, the table can go more and more. We have in the right side, we can add like postmodernism, discourse theory, and so on. But yeah, this is the very basic.
So which one? Yeah. Which one is yours, sir?
Actually, I will tell you later. But yeah, okay. It's because you see in my title of this session, yeah, is constructionism accounting. So it's about construct meaning of accounting in my research. So it's clearly interpretivism. Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is that paradigm matters, and then That's the choice of mine when doing research. And here we go. Then we come to the accounting issue from the perspective of paradigm. We see a clash of paradigm between at least the first and the second paradigm that I have mentioned before. In the perspective, in the point of view of positivism, accountant is objective appraiser of reality, representing reality as is, apa adanya. Yeah, you work with number, yeah, and you work with number, you work with the reality, but you try to be objective. You try to portray, to view the reality as is. But in the other paradigm, I mean the interpretivism, accountant construct reality in limited and one-sided ways. So accountant actually engage in the construction of number that we presented in our report, balance sheet, laporan operational, income statement, and so on. And even more so for the cost accounting and management accounting context, which is more subjective, because in cost accounting, management accounting, we don't have standard. So no objectivism at all for this. So you can change accountant with other profession, for example, valuer, for example. Just joking, yeah. Does valuer do valuation and try to represent the reality as is, or does valuer do the valuation while put his or her subjectivity in it? And then you can change accountant, the word accounting, we other profession. But it's just about the, I mean, about the paradigm. So this paper really a seminal paper. Seminal paper is seminal paper means paper that most cited, when Pak Darmawan published a paper, and then a lot of student, a lot of researcher cite what Pak Darmawan wrote in his paper, then his paper going to be seminal. It's very good. And it's, looking at the title of this paper is really challenging, really, accounting as reality construction, toward a new epistemology for accounting practice. So accountants have to represent complex, multi-dimensional realities, the reality through metaphorical construct that are always limited and incomplete. And number is limited. We realize that some like, for example, when we are evaluating a company, not many things can be measured by number. That's why we put additional information in caleg, catatan atas laporan keuangan, then the financial notes. We put other qualitative information because number has limitation to represent the reality. But that's the case. The accountant actually dealing with very complex reality through metaphorical construct. And number two, as we can see from the screen, accountants are always engaged in interpreting. That's why I'm talking about my choice of paradigm, interpretivism, engaged in interpreting a complex reality partially and and in a way that is heavily weighted in favor of what the accountant is able to measure and chooses to measure. So it's also about ability and option, pilihan, yeah, through the particular scheme of accounting to be adopted. Yeah. So I think this is a last slide before I move. Share you about it. Yeah. So accounting can be seen as many things. Accounting can be defined as accounting as history, economics, language, even politics. If you know, when accounting attempt to influence, yeah, information, rhetoric, domination, and we can see some few example. Yeah, for example, in the left bottom, yeah, cost accounting. A research from Chua, 1995, cost accounting in a hospital, making patient and department profit or cost center. This is the term that we use in cost accounting, yeah, profit center, revenue center, investment center, cost center, and so on. And by this, yeah, by this practice, yeah, cost accounting actually reshapes culture and orientation, making making the hospital people in hospital, the administrative people in the hospital calculate rigorously about the number and put them less human, yeah, because everything is measured by calculation. And then we can see the role of accounting in the colonization even of Canada's First Nation. Yeah, it's just like similar to history of Australia. Yeah, when the European people came to Australia and then remove ya apa namanya menyingkirkan the aborigin people, and then accounting provide a method that justifies the action of the colonizer to do what they do, that result in alienation, even genocide, and so on. And also another paper by Frezzati show that accounting logic remain persisted even when an accounting system abandoned. Yeah. So in a company in Brazil, a company remove or abandon their accounting system and change with other system, non-accounting system. However, actually, the accounting logic remain haunting them in doing the measurement, the evaluation, and so on. Okay, so actually I can stop in perhaps 5 minutes is fine. So the phenomenon that that became my research object, actually is a simple thing that I think everybody knows about it. It's simple, it's about the reform, the financial reform, started in 2003, following up the political reform that occurred several years before, in 1998, and then by the enactment of law, public finance law and public treasury law, UU number 1 and number 17 and number 1, then it remarked the reform of financial. And then the thing about accountability become the main rhetoric, and And then we set up our financial report, our first financial report, because prior to 2005, we didn't have, this country didn't have the financial report, didn't have the balance sheet, didn't have the cash flow statement. We just have PAN, ya, perhitungan anggaran negara, state budget calculation, yeah. And started from 2005, yeah, following the PP 24 about government accounting standard, and then we set up our first report. It went disclaimer for several years from the audit board until 2000, maybe 2010, 2011, yeah, and then qualified, WDP, yeah, qualified, and ultimately in 2016, if I'm not mistaken, for the first time, we got, for the LKPP, for the consolidated financial statement, we got unqualified opinion, WTP, yeah. But it's not just about WTP, WDP, but it's about accountability. It's about the way we account for our activity, our management, including asset management. And the accounting shaped the pattern of asset management as well. You know, in the beginning, we were struggling with the IP, yeah, and Bapak dan Ibu here, yeah, presenting here, I think involved as well in the IP and inventarisasi dan penilaian, ya, stock taking and valuation, back to 2007 to 2007 to 2010, and then and so on and so on. And yeah, the shift to accrual accounting was the key feature of the Indonesian public sector accounting reform. So public sector accounting reform is part of the public finance reform, and accrual accounting characterized, yeah, and it also remarked by the, or characterized by the creation, the establishment of the DJKN, yeah, and accrual accounting allow the asset capitalization. This is the thing, yeah. Accrual accounting allow the asset capitalization and make possible for us to have the balance sheet. So again, the phenomenon being researched in my thesis is just simple phenomenon that we already knew about it. However, I tried to analyze it from interpretivism paradigm perspective, try to put meaning on that, and later on discover that it's not about, you know, it's not about asset management, valuation, IP, and so on, but it's about power. It's about conflict. It's about a shift of power. I'll tell you later if I have time. So yeah, earlier I said that when you do a PhD, then you have to target to fill the gap in the body of knowledge. And yeah, it's just a simple visualization on how I try to position my research. Yeah, the X, what you call the X, yeah, represent the post-adoption period. So paper or research in here in the far left studied the impact of accrual accounting in the very beginning period. And when you move forward to the right, then it means that the researcher try to capture what happened in the longer period after the adoption of accrual accounting. Yeah, it's about accrual accounting, and also the degree of impact. Then this is my position. I tried to study accrual accounting and asset management in meso level. What's meso level mean? What meso level mean is meso level is the level between macro and micro, yeah, macro and micro, yeah, meso. That's why I try to do research in the national level, not in the professional or not in the some specific department of a government. Rather, it's national. However, it's also it only cover a specific part of the government activities, which is asset management. Yeah, so that's what I mean with the meso level. And while taking into account structures and agents relationship, and it has to do with the the paradigm that inspired me in my research. Okay, this is the research question. Just simple question, yeah. The impact of accrual accounting on agent structure. Yeah. When you talk about agent structure, then it will maybe thing that come to your mind is about power, the agent structure in Indonesian public asset management. How was accrual accounting adopted? How was it implemented, and how was it internalized? Yeah. This is the theoretical framework that I was using in my research, strong structurization theory, just to be used for the for analysis, yeah, of the phenomenon I mentioned earlier. Yeah, actually, the original theory is structurization theory by Anthony Giddens, yeah, prominent sociologist from UK. I think he's still alive until this time, perhaps, yeah. And then Rob Stones come to make a bit modification of the theory. I believe this side, yeah, just mention is about, yeah, perhaps it's not quite relevant with your interest, and this is the framework. Yeah, it's about structure and agent, but in strong structurization. It's about external structure, internal structure, and agent in context, agent in focus, and so on. This is a bit about my methodology. But Ellen asked me, yeah, in the very beginning, what position I was taking is social constructionism, and that's why I use case study with data collection by document analysis and focus interviews and so on. My thesis online, 11 chapters. Okay, let me stop my presentation by trying to explain this. Yeah, so it's about people from accounting and people from asset management. Yeah, accounting people and asset management people. Currently, maybe we cannot differentiate between two of them. Yeah, but based on my interview, based on my conversation with the key player at the time of the reform, it obviously occurred. Yeah, a conflict between these people. Yeah. So the agents in focus is people in asset management or DJKN. Yeah. Where in the time of adoption of accounting, accrual accounting in particular, they were unaware, unfamiliar, knew little about it. Yeah. But then when time passed, yeah, to the implementation, adoption is just, you know, when the policy put into law, yeah, enacted into law, regulated, yeah, formally regulated. That's adoption. And then when implementation, there was a tension between those people. Some people were not happy with the domination of accounting people at the time, because the accounting people occupied strategic position and drove the reform. Tension, conflict, yeah. And many people also were not happy because they think it's complicated. They didn't know about the historical cost, for example, when doing the balance sheet establishment. Yeah, the historical document had already gone. Let alone they had to think about depreciation, amortization. Now it's become easy thing, yeah. But at the time, yeah, that happened, yeah. But then at the same time, the people, yeah, try to learn, and then finally, in the phase of internalization, they took control. That because of the accounting practice, yeah, the implementation of the accounting practice, accounting standard, it actually strengthened their position. And then create a different perspective. For example, viewing, yeah, asset management as a revenue center. A former minister, for our former minister, for example, when he looked at the balance sheet, knowing that we had a huge amount of asset, and then figure out that it only contributed very little to our non-tax revenue, and he was not happy. And the thing that then, you know, led people, yeah, to the new perspective about the modern asset management, strategic asset management, how public assets should be contributed significantly, yeah, revenue center and so on. Okay, I think, yeah, it's just a visualization of. So again, basically, and the phenomenon is quite easy to understand, yeah. And I think we can learn quickly and easily, yeah, how accounting and asset management the practice, yeah, happened during or in the past perhaps 15 years, yeah. But I just try to portray it and analyze it and look at from different perspective, and that's the interpretivism paradigm. Usually this paradigm try to explain, yeah, while the other one, the objectivism or the positivism, the purpose is to predict, yeah. Interpretivism is to put explanation where the explanation can enrich our understanding about social life, social reality, especially in the context of a nation development, and then learn something from that to, you know, to bring the development of a country move forward and on and on. I'll stop here. But Ellen, I'm not sure if there will be somebody to ask question, but let's see. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the huge presentation. Actually,
Oh yeah, so sorry.
Yes.
I forgot to mention this. That
Yes,
this is
please.
that I put in my thesis. My claim, my claim that I contribute to the body of knowledge because it's quite new for lower level, which is the meso level study in public sector accounting, and about shift of power, deeper impact across different phases, and also introducing SST, strong structurization theory, as the dynamic framework, because previously the framework, the theory, just used for quite status or non-dynamic framework. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Yes, quite interesting topic, and probably everybody want to contribute to the sharing session by asking question. You may actually put the question on the Zoom chat or raising hand. Anybody, please? Before we have an interactive session, probably I have I'm actually quite interesting on your you mentioned earlier about the shifting of power, sir. Yeah, because what is actually stands for? I mean, related to the context of Indonesian public sector asset management, the shifting of power. What is that actually?
Yeah. Firstly, I would like to say that it's just about analysis. Yeah. Don't go further to contradict people in especially in current time. Yeah. Just an analysis, but the conflict was there. Yeah. Between people. So if I may make differentiation classify the simple classification or simple differentiation. One is people with accounting background, for example, and I think many people in the Ministry of Finance realize about it.
So it actually happened in which
who I mean. And then and the other side is people with the asset management background. And in the very beginning, in the adoption phase, it looked like that people in asset management felt less important, perhaps, less important, because at the time, all about accounting. One of my source person said that I still remember, said that at the time we only focusing on how we record asset, how we measure asset, how we recognize, how we disclose the asset. We haven't been thinking of how to about asset planning, for example, about pemanfaatan asset, the commercialization in a way that will contribute to the government non-tax revenue and so on. So at the time we were busy with accounting thing in asset management. IP itu maksudnya. I'm not sure. I'm not sure with Mbak Ellen, because maybe perhaps at your time you still in PPPK. But during that period we were struggling with the IP, with the how do we make up our balance sheet. It's about, so we may say that at the time one side felt less important, but when time pass and then apa namanya turn around happen, and then even then the accounting logic, the accounting framework provide them, I mean what I mean with them is the people which previously felt less important, the accounting logic provide them, gave them opportunity to to strengthen their position, to modernize the practice of asset management and so on. So that's what I mean with the shift of power from less important to be more important and more dominating and so on.
So actually you are trying to say that now DJ Sam has more power related to the...
You may say it, yeah. So again, why I start my presentation with the story about you are a PhD student, not a consultant. And so on. Because one of the reason is that because perhaps my thesis has little to do with practical policy formulation, for example, for example, if one asks me about what's your contribution, what's your PhD contribution to the organization, then it's hard to answer such a question because the background, because I did not depart from the practical consideration, rather I depart from a bit more about the the body of knowledge approach and so on. But again, back to your question, that does it mean that currently the DJKN is more important? It is, it is.
Yeah, that's why probably it is related to our vision that everybody should be an asset manager nowadays. So we can play our power at the exact point. Is that right, sir? Okay, I'm seeing that Mr. Darmawan actually raising hand. Please, Mr. Wawan.
Yes, Mbak Ellen. Yes, thank you so much for the time. Mas Nafan, I realized I have experience when I was doing my PhD, and I feel lonely. Then, in terms of personality, personal friends, and this, I mean, not lonely in terms of personal, because like most of the time we are doing my work alone by ourselves, nothing, no colleagues. I mean, like in our area. And in terms of knowledge, now I realize that it is lonely. Just me maybe in my research, or just you in your research. When you present your research, I realize that I have, I mean, like I have no idea of what is it. And it is interesting. I mean, like as you said before, it's really narrowed down and really specific, really tiny thing that we should know about the knowledge itself. But the good thing that I can pick up one idea, what it was, but Ellen, about what is this, like about the reality, the accountant do they measure the reality, or do they use the subjectivity like that you said before? I'm not sure about that. It was your, I think, like 5th or 6th presentation slide like that. And it's same as valuer in the valuation term, Mas Nafan. So we are, as a valuer, it's most likely or frequently our clients say that it's too high, it's too low, it's not appropriate to the expectation. It's quite difficult to get what we call it maybe in the reality in the market, right? So that sometimes we think about or we try to contemplate that is it our subjectivity or is it data that we examine then come to some numbers, or is that really we did something that try to catch up reality? So it is trade-off between the data and our subjectivity and the rule, the method itself, and the expectation of the client or user. So what do you think from you as a content perspective to see how valuer doing their work, within sometimes conflict between the valuer and the client in terms of defining the number? Is it the number based on objectivity or what I mean, like the evidence of the data, or the number based on subjectivity of the valuer itself? You know what I mean? You get what I mean? It's based on your, I forgot, it was the 5 or 6 presentation. Was it? Yeah. What do you think? I wanna get your perspective or point of view, Pak Nafan, as a accountant, and Mbak Ellen also, of course, as accountant.
Yeah, Pak Darmawan. I was a valuer, yeah, no longer, long time ago. So I think I want to leave this question to Pak Darmawan himself, or the valuer that present here. But if I may say that from if we try to use the perspective of positivism or objectivity with the interpretivism, yeah, then yeah, it come back to the valuer himself or herself, yeah. I think if the valuer try to measure or to value, to appraise, yeah, an object as is, yeah, without interaction with their subjectivity, then it might be closer to the positivism, yeah, or objectivity. Perhaps it's nothing to do with the paradigm. Actually, it's just simple thing that we or I mean the valuer dealing with in their daily activity. Yeah. But if the valuer in appraising an object then try to thinking about the possibility of this object to be able to be sold quickly, or else, yeah, or other consideration that, yeah, perhaps it is closer to the interpretivism. But I mean, it's not about the paradigm, yeah. I mean, and I think the valuer has their own consideration into the appraisal. I just I was just interested to say when I talk to you about class of paradigm in accountant as the appraisal of the reality as is, or accountant who is able to construct the reality. And actually I tend to be position myself to the second perspective, yeah, looking at the accountant as the profession who construct the reality. Then that's why I was asking the question, if we try to change the accountant with valuer, for example. I'm not sure if it answered your question, Pak Darmawan, but I think you have your own perspective as well as the participant here in this meeting.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Nafan. Probably I'm saying my arguments. If it is about accounting, I'm going to the positivism side because for me, accounting is more like, because I'm still master probably, yeah. I'm not constructing the arguments from the basic and philosophical side. Accounting is about the historical documentation, so I'm go with the reality as is. But however, the valuation, um, I'm taking the middle position because when we are talking about the real value of an object, we are not going to leave the the numerical position as just as is, but we should also consider our subjectivity because it's the art you sense. How would this object be more valuable in the future? So you see the potentiality there. So for this question, I'm taking the middle position. Valuation can be on the positivism and the interpretivism as well, Mr. Wawan. And actually, Mr. Rafan, we have questions from Mr. Wait a minute. Mr. Wawan, are you still there? You want to say something else about the questions or your own argument negating Mr. Nafan or mine, please?
All good, Pa. All good. Yeah. For me, also, like I'm thinking like to tend to more interpretatism. Even like as unlike Mas Nafan before that, I did my thesis based on two paradigm. So in between positivism and interpretative. So again, it's more some part is more subjectivity based on interpretative interpretation, and some part is based on daily historical and that things. But all good. I think it was, yeah, I think I got the point from Ellen and Mas Nafan. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wawan. We'll go to the Mr. Haddad Hussein Lubi's questions. He has two questions actually. The first one, which has more multiplier effect for societal prosperity between the consultant and PhD level of study from what you've been experienced through your study? Is that right? The question, Mr. Haddad Hussein Lubis? And then the second one, how much case studies in methodology do we need in order to accurately achieve the best or optimum interpretation of the study result? Because one of the hardest things, and let's tough debate happened, a quantitative study is the most appropriate interpretation of the study result, especially about shadow economy from Snyder's research and its derivative. The first question is probably about, so because you mentioned about the consultant and PhD on your second slide, probably Mr. Haddad Hussein Lubis wanna ask about which one between consultant or PhD who has the bigger effect to the societal prosperity based on your experience, Mr. Nafan?
Yes, it's actually uncomparable things, yeah. Because they work in their own field with their own purposes, different objective, yeah. Researchers maybe or PhD, PhD researcher may be able to give more when you know, when he or she invents something that can be, you know, I mean, in terms of research and development, when you do research and it's successful research and you go on with the development to make it more in, especially for nature, natural science, yeah, or math or engineering, then it can come to the state when provide the opportunity for the entity to generate revenue, for example, while the consultant, yeah, their job. I'm not saying that PhD student in my slide, yeah, is superior. It's just about the thing to do, yeah, because I went to Australia as a PhD student, and that's why my supervisor directed me not to do the consultant job. Yeah. So again, indeed, it's not incomparable. Yeah. I mean, they have their own contribution in terms of making a country more prosper. Yeah. That's my answer. And for the next question, yeah, this is thing that I forgot to mention. Between the positivism and interpretivism, positivism tend to be generalized, yeah, the result. I mean, when you do research with the positivism perspective, you got the result, and you will say that this result is applicable in other place, in other environment. So you generalize. Everything is uniform, everything is homogeneous. Yeah. While in interpretivism, it's not the case. When you do the research, like me, yeah, doing research in one specific area and got the result, and I cannot say that this result will be applicable in different area, in other area. It's not the case. So specificity is the key issue in interpretivism. What I'm trying to say is that that's why the number of case study doesn't matter. Yeah, and it's not as long as far as I read. Yeah, as far as I read, it's not recommended. Yeah, you do case study, better to do one case study because you try to obtain a specific character, specific result of one specific object. Yeah, because the key issue is about the specificity. Yeah, if you do a lot of or more than one case study, then what's the point? Yeah, that is from the perspective of interpretivism. The answer will be different if we look at from the positivism, because like I said before, positivism try to uniforming, yeah, to generalize. So a lot of case study, maybe you then do the average and so on. That's my answer. Yeah, Mas Haddad. Thank you.
Yes, is that enough, Mr. Haddad? Or do you want to say something else about it? While waiting for Mr. Haddad, okay, I think that's enough, and I will give one more opportunity for anybody else to ask directly. Yes, there it is, Mr. Bayu Rizky Fatoni. You may directly ask Mr. Nafan, please.
Thank you, Mr. Nafan. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for the opportunity to give me the time to try to speak in English, Mr. Maybe I want to ask something about asset management in Indonesia. We know that asset management in Indonesia is many asset that can be hold or can be organized to increase PNBP, penerimaan negara bukan pajak. Maybe you have any idea or about asset management in Indonesia to be the most effective asset management that can be increase of a PNBP. Furthermore, for the last time I ever be asset management in KPKNL, and the Satker didn't pay anything for PNBP. Maybe you have big idea for the Satker to be pay the PNBP and make a new regulation about that. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Mr. Bayu, thank you. You're raising the issue about non-tax revenue and how should we optimize it. Please, Mr. Nafan.
Yeah, thank you. Salam kenal, Mas Bayu. Thank you for the question. Yeah, for the first question, yes, I think in terms of the policy, in terms of the regulation, we have everything. Yeah, we have PMK ya 115 on pemanfaatan BMN. We have a number of different scheme to utilize for BMN for asset, from lease to KSP to and many others. And even in terms of because we are going to prepare to relocate, to move to the new capital, we open the opportunity to create any other option to utilize the asset. So I think we got almost everything for that. And I'm not the opponent of the asset sale. Asset sale. Perhaps some of our people do not like the idea of selling the public asset, overall asset. But I think it's good thing if it give us more value for money. Because keeping the asset not only give you quote unquote asset, but at the same time also give you liability, because by holding the asset, especially for non-land asset, you have to allocate some expenditure to maintenance, so it's our liability to do the maintenance. I mean liability because in the future we have to spend the money for the maintenance, and it gives you liability side for our asset. So I'm a proponent of the asset sale, but don't get me wrong. I mean it's okay actually for government to dispose the asset, selling it to the interested investor, especially in terms of capital allocation, when we will have a lot of vacant buildings after we are moving to the IKN. Why not? If and you are a valuer, you can calculate which one is more profitable for the government between option A, that we put it in a lease partnership, for example, with private company for some years, or we dispose right now and put all the money in the beginning, and then we can invest the money for other thing. We can put for develop anything and so on. So and I often put the practice in the Australian government as an example, because in recent years the Australian government also tend to divest more and more their building, the public building, and get revenue from that. And even for that's their choice. They even prefer to to list the office rather than owning the building. But I think it's quite extreme. Yeah, I mean, it's a far right of, you know, option. Yeah. Well, what I'm trying to say is that, yeah, it's okay to, you know, we can do the calculation, which is more profitable, which is more advantageous, yeah, between dispose the asset through the sale or put it in the pemanfaatan, yeah, cooperation partnership with the private company. Especially when we're dealing with the surplus asset, with the idle asset. Yeah, that's my first answer. The second one, what was the question? I forgot. Apa tadi, Mas Bayu? The
About increasing PNBP.
Oh, Satker, yeah, Satker who
Yeah.
doesn't want to pay. Yeah, then we try to comply with the regulation. Again, I said that we have everything. We just need to, you know, reinforce, enforce the regulation, enforce the policy. We have WASDAL, yeah, controlling and monitoring, and I think that's one aspect, one important aspect of our job as asset manager, to make sure, to ensure that everything is on the right track, that the Satker, the line ministry, our stakeholder follow the rule, comply with the regulation, and so on. And actually, I'm not really like with the idea of profit and profit while we are still working for the government, because we are not expected to make a revenue. Yeah. I mean, the main job of asset manager in asset management context in our office is actually to ensure that our asset can provide facility, can support the operationalization of government activity, public service provision, and so on. That's the main thing. Yeah. While the getting revenue from asset is just a buy side product. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I think 3 questions has already answered from Mr. Nathan. I think that's the end of our sharing sessions today, and a very interesting discussion, arguments, and everybody, I hope, enjoying this event. Do you have any closing statement, Mr. Nafan?
Yeah, thank you for the invitation again. Yeah, Pak Darmawan. I'm thinking of joining the group perhaps, so I can have the opportunity to join the next session when we can share, and very good event. Yeah, Pak Darmawan. And I'm just hoping that my participation in this meeting meet the expectation from the committee. I'm really worried about it. I'm really worried about it. I'm just thinking, oh, perhaps one of the committee will be thinking that, oh, it's not that we expect. Yeah. If that's the case, then I'm sorry. But hopefully it meet the requirement, it meet the expectation, and sorry if there is something that you don't like, yeah, from my presentation. Again, thank you very much. I'm honored, yeah, to get invitation from Pak Darmawan and team. Thank you. Thank you, Pak Ellen.
It was good. So don't worry about that. So I think we need a bit more time and explore more from your knowledge and the theory that you built on this thesis. So it was good, but so don't worry about that. It was good. We are really enjoying the discussion, and I think I personally have bunch of knowledge from Pak Nafan also. Just know actually Mbak Ellen. Just on the research actually. Oh, this is interesting to see that. Thank you so much, Pak Nafan.
We have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you for all the participants and the speakers. And I'm giving back to the host.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Ellen. So, dear friends and colleagues, as the discussion session has come to an end, it also marks the end of our sharing session for today. It has surely been a delighted moment for us as we can enrich our knowledge regarding the public accounting and asset management, especially the interesting topic about the PhD accounting research mentioned earlier by the speaker. For that, on behalf of all the committees and colleagues behind the screen, we would like to thank the speaker, Pak Nafan, the moderator, Ibu Ellen, and the participation of all members who have been very enthusiastic from the beginning to the end of today's sharing session. Before we close today's meeting, allow me to remind us to fill the presence link prepared in the chat columns below. And honorable friends and colleagues, with this, it concludes the whole event for today. We do apologize if there is any mistakes or something that makes uncomfortable during the sharing session. We are looking forward to seeing you in the future event. Stay safe and stay healthy. I'm Baby Saragi signing off. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mbak Pepi.
Waalaikumsalam.
Have a good and I think it's happy weekend, yeah, for everyone.
Yeah,
Happy
see
weekend.
you all. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Nafan. Thank you, Mr. Wawan. Thank you all.
Terima kasih. Mohon maaf. Izin pamit Pak Darmawan, Bapak Ibu semuanya.
Ya, izin pamit.